Hi, it's time for another verb of the day. Today's verb is slither, and this verb was suggested by the viewer Artem. Artem, thank you so much for the suggestion. Now let's take a moment and review some of the definitions or ways that we can use this verb. The first way you're likely to encounter the verb slither means to move smoothly over a surface with a twisting or oscillating motion. Related to this first definition, I want you to think of the action of a snake and how it moves. This verb is used incredibly frequently to describe that action, right? So it's kind of a twisting movement as it moves forward or moves toward something. In fact, I would say pretty commonly, you are going to see a snake or many snakes be the subject of a sentence with the verb slither. Now, another way you might encounter this verb can mean to slide or to slip unsteadily on a loose or a slippery surface. For now, you should know that slither is a regular verb. If you want to make the progressive form of this verb, all you need to do is add ing, and that forms slithering. The past tense and the participle form of this verb can be made by adding ed. Our base verb, slither, ends in a voiced R sound. This means our ed ending is just going to make a D sound, and I'm not going to add an extra syllable when I say it. The past tense and the participle form of the verb should sound like this: slithered, slithered. Now, slither is a verb that is pretty common to see with a preposition. So we're going to focus our discussion today on some different phrasal verbs with slither. The first way you might encounter this might mean to slither along. Okay, this can have a couple meanings. One is to twist or undulate the body to propel the body forward. So this really goes back to that first definition. An example of this: the snake slithered along the trail looking for its next meal. So we can imagine kind of that twisting movement making it go forward. Now, a second way you might encounter slithered along and mean to walk onward in a sliding motion, especially in a way that makes others feel uneasy or distrustful. So with this definition, and we're going to see other examples of this, what I think is really happening here is we're sort of describing the way a particular person is moving, maybe how they're acting or how we feel about them, and comparing that to a snake. So an example of how you might hear this used: the man slithered along the bar, chatting up different women until they walked away. So what this is describing is kind of a, you might say, sleazy, creepy, unpleasant person. And again, comparing him to a snake. So he's kind of sliding up, trying to chat someone up, they walk away. So he continues along this area. Now let's take a look at another phrasal verb. You might encounter slither away. It can also have a couple different meanings. First goes back to our original definition. So twisting, oscillating, or undulating one's body to propel it away from someone or something. An example of this: she screamed when she saw the snake and swatted at it with a broom. It eventually slithered away. So, again, I apologize if it seems a little boring, or you might be asking, why does she keep using snakes here? But that is most commonly how you're going to see this used. So here it's moving away from the frightened person. The second way to use slither away is a little similar to our second definition of slither along. So here we're walking away from someone or something, especially in a way that makes people feel a bit uneasy. Why did the salesperson slither away after just 1 minute? Okay, so again, maybe not a very strong salesperson, comes across in kind of an uncomfortable way to others. But again, this person now has moved away. All of the examples here just happen to be in the simple past tense. Okay. Now let's continue with slither on. The way we use this. So here we're moving or sliding across a surface in a smooth, sliding, and frequently a serpentine way. So serpentine, snake-like. An example like that. We slithered on our bellies under the fence. So again, this is different than crawling. We're not on our knees, right? But we're on our stomachs, kind of trying to move or slide our way under. The last phrasal verb we'll discuss today is to slither over. Our first definition of this, of course, goes back to that twisting movement of the body, making it propel itself across the top of something. So, an example of this. The snake is slithering over the hot sand. Here's a present progressive sentence describing an ongoing action or something that's happening now. Okay? The last meaning for slither over, again, is walking toward someone or something in that sort of sliding or gliding motion, but in a way that makes people feel uncomfortable or uneasy. So, an example of how we might hear someone use this: let's leave before another creep slithers over here. So, this might be a group. My mind, I think maybe because I'm a woman, but it goes to a group of women who maybe keep getting approached by people that they don't find to be very engaging or interesting. And so here, right, they're suggesting, let's get out of here before this action repeats again. Now, let's move on and talk about some words that are related to today's verb slither. The first word we're going to talk about is just the noun form of this word. The noun slither has the exact same spelling and the exact same pronunciation as our verb. When we use this word as a noun, we're describing a slithering movement. So again, sort of that twisting movement that propels something forward. An example of this: look at the toddler's snake-like slither to try and get under the gate. So here, maybe we've put up some kind of protective barriers to confine someone who is maybe newly walking here, but that isn't going to stop the person, right? They're going to here maybe try and get on their belly and twist and propel themselves forward and under the gate. One more word for today. It's the adjective slithery. This can mean having a slippery surface texture or quality. So an example of this, something I saw in a newspaper article. The Christmas tree shipment contained a slithery surprise, 10 snakes. So here, right, again, we're back to those snake-like comparisons, but that is how I think you're likely to see and hear this verb used. Again, I want to say a special thanks to Artem for suggesting today's verb, and I thank you all for watching. Have a great day.